Last year, Kawasaki invited members of the media out to the Sand Hollow State Park located in St. George, Utah, to experience their first entry into the UTV sport utility market, the Teryx 750. After a day of relentless pounding, we came away very impressed with the overall performance of the 2008 Teryx. Based on what they learned in 2008, Kawasaki made a number of significant improvements to the Teryx line for 2009. Along with the base model, they're offering Sonic Blue and Camouflage limited edition versions. Serious hunters will be happy to see the return of the NRA edition, but we were most excited to see the addition of the all-new Teryx 750 4x4 Sport available in Kawasaki Green or Monster Energy color schemes. After a brief teaser ride at their dealer meeting last month in Texas, Kawasaki once again assembled the media, this time at the beautiful Boulders ride area located an hour outside of Phoenix, Arizona, for our first full day of testing.
Hi, I'm Vince Iorio, Product Manager for Kawasaki Motors Corp USA and in charge of the Teryx project. Today we're introducing the all-new Teryx 750 FI 4x4 Sport at the beautiful Boulders OHV Park outside of Phoenix, Arizona. I want to cover a couple of changes that were made with all the models before we talk specifically about the Sport model. A lot of refinements were made in the model year 2009 to make the product even better than it was in 2008. Primarily we added fuel injection. The digital system, 32-bit processor with 6 sensors that monitor all the engine components as well as atmospheric pressure and temperatures. What it does is it gives the owner of the Teryx automatic adjustments and compensations for outside temperature on cold mornings or driving up in the mountains and raising the elevation. So it's a very, very good system. The fuel injection does provide a real crisp response, and the acceleration is almost instantaneous. To harness the increased power, certain changes were made to the transmission as well. This has a constantly variable transmission, and it was strengthened and adjusted to handle the increase in power and torque. In addition to that change, the drive shafts and CV joints have been changed. In some cases the splines have been hardened. In some cases diameters have been increased just to allow a bit more margin of strength. The CV boots have been changed from rubber to plastic for durability and basically adds to just a more durable drivetrain on the 09 model. The airbox was changed. We added a snorkel and raised the top of the airbox to let more volume go through, thereby allowing the digital fuel injection system to pull more air through the engine. Other changes were to the suspension. The Teryx 750s all received a revised torsion bar to allow the suspension to work a little easier, make it for a little more comfortable ride. Another change to all models is the addition of the tilting cargo bed. In the 2008 model year, we only had the tilting cargo bed on the Luxury Edition. We can now install it on all models. It's very easy to use. It has 2 gas struts and automatically lifts and holds its position for either maintenance or cleaning. They also receive a digital meter in the dash, which are creature comforts. Included in the digital fuel injection package is a sending unit and a fuel pump in the fuel tank. So we have a digital gauge now with a fuel level meter. Real nice, real easy to read. We also have a parking brake indicator that's been added to the digital meter. So you can't take off inadvertently with the parking brake on. That supersedes an indicator that we had in the dash previously, just a light. The 2009 Sport model receives some serious upgrades in suspension. The standard models have really good suspension. But we know that as the population of drivers become more experienced, they want higher performance out of the standard model. So we have the Sport model that has completely different front and rear shocks. On the front suspension we have piggyback reservoirs, aluminum body Kayaba shocks that have not only preload adjustment but low speed compression and rebound damping adjustments. Same for the rear, the piggyback shocks, low speed rebound and compression damping adjustments along with the stepless preload. So the owner can set up the suspension to his driving style. The big benefit of this suspension is that it allows you to take the vehicle closer to its top speed while remaining fully in control and in a very comfortable situation. So it's true to its name. It is a sport model designed for more sporting and spirited driving. Sport models have cast wheels, and they're actually lighter, 2.2 pounds lighter than the steel wheels that are on the standard and LE models. And they're actually also stronger, so there's less unsprung weight and a nice new appearance to the product. These are machined and natural aluminum on the lime green version. On the Monster Edition, they are painted flat black.
Stomp the throttle on the fuel-injected Teryx 750 Sport, and the engine responds immediately. With the addition of EFI, horsepower and throttle response seems to have been slightly improved at all RPM levels, with notably more torque on hand for steep climbs or technical situations. While testing the 2008 carbureted version at high altitude, the motor stalled several times and the throttle was chopped at low RPMs. With the addition of fuel injection, these problems seem to have disappeared as our Teryx ran crisp and flawlessly all day. On the wide-open, power-robbing, deep sand and rock-strewn trails of Boulders, we managed to get our Teryx up to a top speed of around 49 miles per hour, with two 250-plus pound passengers on board. With ample forward traction provided by the Maxxis tires developed specifically for the Teryx, we were able to conquer the entire 20-mile course Kawasaki laid out in two-wheel drive. Although, we did encounter a few hills on which we felt more confident testing the four-wheel drive and differential lock capabilities of the Teryx on our first descent. With four-wheel drive and diff lock engaged, traction was definitely enhanced on loose rocky climbs. Differential lock slightly increases the effort needed to steer the machine. Although we could point the Teryx where we wanted, we thought power steering would be a nice update on a future model. Cruising down the trails in two-wheel drive, we found the steering effort on the Teryx to be quite light. Directional control was generally pretty predictable. While driving extremely aggressively on loose trails, we did encounter some front end push, although we felt it to be more of a lack of traction on the trail than any fault of the Teryx. On more stable trail surfaces, the Teryx seemed to go right where it was pointed. The Teryx 750 Sport's Kayaba shocks were designed with the sporting enthusiast in mind, although the Teryx was built for utility purposes as well, and its stock suspension settings reflected. Crawling around rough and rocky trails at a moderate pace, the stock suspension settings feel quite plush. But as soon as we hit the first whoop section, we could tell something wasn't quite right. The rear cargo bed has a capacity of 500 pounds, and the stock suspension settings are designed to carry all that weight. For one or two passengers pounding through the whoops, this results in a ride that's too soft up front, bottoming often, and a back end that's too stiff, bouncing around, unable to make full use of its suspension travel. But fear not. The Sport suspension is preload, compression, and rebound adjustable, allowing you a great deal of tunability. We added 2 turns of preload to stiffen the front shocks, and backed out 1.5 turns to soften the rear. The result was a much more balanced ride where the front end resisted bottoming, and the rear end kicked considerably less. Other editors were able to achieve very similar results by simply tuning with the very effective compression and rebound adjustments. To achieve the best possible results for your Teryx, we'd recommend starting with our preload settings, then fine-tuning with the compression and rebound adjustments from there. We were extremely impressed with the tunability of the Teryx's suspension, and a few simple adjustments make a big difference. As you can see, hammering to the Arizona whoops, a simple 10 minutes of tuning was all that was required to really bring out the sport in the Teryx Sport suspension. Although we did bottom the shock slamming to these 2 feet deep whoops at 35 miles per hour, we were impressed at just how straight the Teryx tracked, even when pushing the suspension to the limits. For off-cambers or low and high-speed turns, we were pleased with the stability of the Teryx. Kawasaki did a good job of giving this machine a sure-footed feeling, especially considering it was kept narrow enough to fit in the back of a full-size pickup. Although it was most stable with 2 people on board, the Teryx could be quartered aggressively in either direction with just the driver. Thanks to its good stability, even close calls like this one can be easily saved. Kawasaki's engine brake control system does a good job of helping you maintain a controllable pace on steep descents like this one. While the engine braking system might not be able to handle this descent by itself, it's aided by dual hydraulic disc brakes up front and a sealed hydraulic disc brake system in the rear. We felt the brakes had good feel and offered plenty of stopping power. After our first full day of testing with the 2009 Kawasaki Teryx 750 Sport, we came away most impressed with the machine's overall performance, with no one aspect standing out above or below the rest. There's plenty of power for steep climbs, rock crawling, fast fire roads, or just about anything you might decide to throw at it. It has light steering effort and two-wheel drive, good brakes, and its stability is well matched to the healthy power output of the stock engine. Those that work and play hard will appreciate the 500-pound capacity of the hydraulic-assisted tilting bed and its 1,300 pounds of towing capacity. The Teryx has proven itself durable in the heat of competition, as proven by Chad George, 2008 Core Off-Road UTV champion. Funco, the George's family business, builds all of the genuine Kawasaki chassis components available through your local Kawasaki dealer, the same components that Chad used to win the 2008 championship. Your local dealer has access to a wide variety of performance parts that can do anything from mild performance upgrades to building a radical race machine. In the end, we felt the 2009 Kawasaki Teryx 750 Sport was a well-performing and well-rounded machine. If we were buying a new UTV this year, the 2009 Kawasaki Teryx Sport would be one of the machines on the top of our list. For more information on the 2009 Kawasaki Teryx Sport and their full line of UTVs, log on to Kawasaki.com.